The mystery of these days, I was saying in the last video, Commitment Saturday, that's today, the Saturday before Palm Sunday. Palm Sunday is procession. In the gospel for tomorrow is very interesting in terms of this mystery and letting us see how Christ was inviting his disciples into, participating, and he was training them to live this out and then to teach it to future generations. And so, we see them sitting around the table, and his first thing he says, I so desired, and he uses a superlative or St. Luke writing it uses a superlative. I so desired to have this meal with you. And what's interesting is he knows what's on the horizon. He knows where he's going because he already set out decisively for Jerusalem. And Jerusalem for Christ means death, but it also means new life. And so he has that horizon, the new life. He knows that the glory that he once knew when he was with his Father will be his again. And that's what we have to invest in. We have to invest in that new life will come if we remain faithful to the process of becoming, to releasing the truth of our uniqueness into the universe. And so remain faithful. That's the secret of this week. Remain faithful. Look at Easter on the horizon. You're going to see a cross along the way too as well, but don't let that scare you off from continuing your voyage. And that's what Christ's inviting his disciples to do. And then, he's sitting there and he says, I desire to it, and he picks up the cup and he blesses it and he passes it around. And what does that mean is, take part in my voyage. So the same, you have the same destiny, the same givenness, the same lot. It's going to be, each one of us has the same way to go that Christ went. If we want to truly release the will of God that's in us, follow the will of the Father, it's not an external follow what Christ did. It's follow the will of the Father that's within each and every one of us. So taking the cup is a way of saying, I participate, I desire to live the same way that you lived with my life, though, within my life. I have to make decisions for my life. And so that's how I become, saints would say, the fathers of the church, become Christ in my life, but making conscious decisions, moving towards a ever closer truth, becoming closer to the truth of who I really am, what the thought of God is within me for my life. Decisions I make that allow that to come forward. And as we're going to say, the mystery of the procession, but it's also, or commitment is also the tremor of, if I do release my truth, it might not be accepted. And that's part of becoming. That's what happened to Christ. His truth that he spoke was not accepted. And he was killed for that. But that remaining faithful to that path allowed him to rise again and come into his glory. The same process happens in our life if we remain faithful to our truth, to my I am. And that's the thought of God that was breathed into me when I was created in my conception day. So the invitation of this gospel is to move with Christ. And it's the same then as he breaks the bread and passes it around. This is my body. That's what we do. We nurture creation by living out this process of becoming. The energy, the positive energy, keeps everything in balance, and doesn't allow the negative to take over. We live in a time where it seems like negativity has taken over, and we're very corrupted by the economy and politics, and they keep us oppressed, or even the church at times, the church institution, not the Church of Christ, obviously, and they keep us oppressed. Well, we need to move towards a very positive. We need to release the positive energy, the goodness is within us, to bring it back into a balance. It's not that the negative disappears, it just gets back into a balance, because that becomes the force that drives us forward. So the invitation of this gospel tomorrow is a lived Eucharist, not just a memory of what Christ went through. We're not just trying to remember what happened, but I want to live it in my life, so it has to be a live something. Now then when we sit down and do it together at table, that helps us because I'm not alone. And so that's why we would come together in a community and do it together as a public witness to help me reinforce my public witness to who I'm to become, my public witness, the procession towards my becoming, towards the release of the truth that's in me. So we're going to move on in this Holy Week. Today, Commitment Saturday. Tomorrow, procession. I'm going to publicly display my being committed to that center. And the center is the thought on the breath of God that was seated in me in my creation day. And I want to search that out and release it into the universe so that I can witness to that as Christ did. And that's how we build the kingdom of God on earth. So we participate in building the kingdom of God on earth by becoming who we are called to be. Thank you.